let's jump straight into it. Today, we're dissecting one of the most insane upsets in knockout football history. We've got Germany versus Paraguay, the heavyweight taking on the ultimate underdog. Let's break down the anatomy of this match and figure out exactly how this stunning result actually happened on the pitch.
So here's the big question we're looking at today. How in the world do you break a 44-year curse of invincibility? How does a gritty underdog completely shatter 4 decades of penalty shootout dominance by an absolute global powerhouse? It sounds impossible, right? But as we're about to see, the impossible is sometimes just a potent mix of flawless tactics and impeccable timing.
All right, let's get right into the tactical chess match that kicked things off.
From the literal first whistle at Boston Stadium, Julian Nagelsmann's Germany did exactly what you would expect them to do. They completely monopolized the football. Look at these numbers. We're talking a staggering 75% possession. They were essentially playing keep away, passing with surgical precision through the midfield and totally dictating the tempo of the game.
You literally couldn't ask for a more classic clash of styles. You've got Germany on one side, relying on high possession, surgical passes, and just relentlessly flooding the attacking third. And on the flip side, Paraguay completely owned their underdog status. They set up this ultra-compact defensive shape, practically parking the bus with all 11 men behind the ball. They were perfectly happy to just sit back and absorb wave after wave of pressure like a brick wall.
Which brings us to a shocking breakthrough.
For about 40 minutes, it's a total tactical stalemate. But then, right before halftime, boom. Totally against the run of play, it happens. Damian Bobadilla forces a massive turnover deep in Germany's half. That gives Matías Galarza the space to float this inviting, looping cross right into the mixer. And out of nowhere, Julio Enciso rises up through a surprisingly static German defense, powers a downward header that completely deceives Manuel Neuer and finds the back of the net. And let me tell you, this goal triggered absolute bedlam in the stadium. The Massachusetts crowd was completely stunned. I mean, Germany, after dominating the ball the entire half, suddenly finds themselves walking into the tunnel trailing 1-0. Crazy, right?
Now, obviously, the powerhouse isn't going to just roll over. Here is Germany's relentless response. Knowing their tournament lives are squarely on the line, Die Mannschaft comes out of the locker room absolutely flying. They flood the attacking third, and by the 54th minute, parity is restored. It took a moment of pure individual brilliance. Florian Wirtz whips in this exquisite, curling delivery, and Kai Havertz times his run to absolute perfection. He glances this delicate little header past Orlando Gill, making it 1-1. Suddenly, it feels like Germany is about to run away with the whole thing.
But here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. Most teams, they would crumble after giving up an equalizer like that to a giant. Not Paraguay. Instead, they put on an absolute defensive clinic. They snapped right back into their defensive shell, communicating flawlessly and showing unbelievable physical resilience. They just refused to break, somehow surviving the German territorial onslaught all the way through the final whistle of normal time.
And that leads us straight into extra time and a massive VAR turning point.
So, we fast forward to the 102nd minute. Legs are incredibly heavy and the tension is just through the roof. Germany whips in a fierce corner and Jonathan Tah powers a header over the line. The German players go absolutely wild. It looks like the dramatic comeback is finally complete. But hold everything.
Enter the video assistant referee. After a gut-wrenchingly long review, the ref decides that German player Waldemar Anton had illegally blocked and fouled the goalkeeper Orlando Gill in the build-up. Goal disallowed. Wiped right off the scoreboard. You can just imagine the swing in momentum here. This massive let-off injects this crazy renewed sense of belief into an exhausted South American squad, dragging the deadlock all the way to penalties.
So let's look at how this underdog went about shattering a massive penalty myth.
44. Just let that number sink in for a second. Germany walked into this shootout carrying an aura of absolute invincibility. For 44 years, more than 4 decades, they had not lost a single World Cup penalty shootout. The myth of German composure from 12 yards was literally legendary. But history was about to get rewritten in Massachusetts. That legendary myth? It cracked immediately. Kai Havertz steps up first for Germany, and Orlando Gill completely reads it, pulling off a spectacular save. Then Paraguay's Mauricio coolly slots his away to grab the early edge. Germany does manage to convert a couple of kicks, but the momentum permanently shifts when Nick Woltemade's strike is also denied by another phenomenal diving effort from Gill.
We get to sudden death, and the tension is just unbearable.
Jonathan Tah, the very same guy who had his extra-time winner chalked off, steps up and blasts his penalty straight over the crossbar. Unbelievable. Then Paraguay's rock at the back, José Canale, walks up, absolute ice in his veins. He calmly slots the winner, sealing a historic 4-3 shootout victory for Paraguay.
And just like that, we witnessed the fall of a myth. The Paraguayan bench absolutely stormed the pitch in wild celebration. Through sheer willpower and a perfectly executed defensive masterclass, they actually sent the 4-time world champions packing.
So as we wrap, I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. In the absolute highest stakes of knockout football, does a unified, unbreakable resilience always hold the power to rewrite history? Can pure grit and a flawless defensive game plan always conquer 44 years of invincibility? Keep that question in mind the next time you see a massive favorite square off against a gritty underdog. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and keep asking those big questions.